NTT IndyCar Race Weekend, and it's just not any IndyCar race weekend. It's the race weekend, the one we wait for all year long. And you know what that means. When they race, we race here first. It's time for some top split action in the 2024 IndyCar iRacing Series. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gazzo, and I am so excited I can't talk to be here. Welcome to Race First coverage, sponsored by 4D Racewear of Round 6 of the 2024 Championship, as we come to you today once again from my hometown and the world's greatest race course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As always, joining me for expert analysis in the booth, he's my teammate and a regular participant in the IndyCar Fix Series, coming to us live from the remote studios in Mexico City. It's El Patron, Antonio, or should I say Tony Estrada. Also joining us is our road expert, but he's going to bring us some valuable intel from his testing here, and so close on a win, and almost, I believe it was in the major series. He finished just off the lead there, but he is also a former 500 champion for the major series from last year when we couldn't run the car. He ran it in the IRO1, but you've heard him before on GSRC and Apex Racing TV, and he is going to be with us for the rest of the season. Coming to us from Scotland is Ryan Walker. Guys, I don't know about you, but as you can tell, I'm pretty excited to be here as we're getting ready to line up and go racing 120 laps, 500K. Antonio, starting with you, man, what are your feelings?
Oh, man, I am so happy to be here. Welcome, everybody, to Raceverse coverage of Indianapolis. You know, like you said, the best track in the world, probably. I mean, we're kind of biased, but...
We are, completely, 100%.
But yeah, it's the month of May. It's so exciting to be here. This is going to be a very interesting race. I assume that a lot of these guys have now fine-tuned their setups. They're going to be using this race in particular for next week's Indy 500. So yeah, a lot of fun to be had.
Well, we are already moving. We had a little bit of a delay. We're a little bit of a delay getting into this thing because once again, the bit where I load into another session, and I was telling guys I knew I loaded into the wrong session when I saw guys with the NASCAR liveries on their Indy cars. I'm like, oh, so we had to load back in. So we got in here just in time. But let's take a look really quickly at the starting lineup.
All right. So starting on the pole with a blistering fast lap time of 39.0, it's Andreas Eich. He's joined by Jesper Orman in the front row with a 39.09. Starting third is Liam O'Sullivan. He's joined by Mark Murphy, starting fourth. Starting fifth is Jameson Rodriguez, and he's joined by Andrew Marquez, starting sixth. Starting seventh, we can find Kevin Burrell and Michael Scott List Ramler. Kind of a mouthful. We're going to call him Michael Scott. Starting ninth, Matt Hollival, and he's joined by Cesar Mansato. Starting 11th, we can find Craig Forsyth and Rashad Craig, starting 12th. Starting 13th, Aymeric Blom. He's joined by Hayato Matsuda, starting 14th. Nacho La Rosa, a name we haven't seen in a while, starting 15th. He's joined by Felix Ferrier, starting 16th. 17th is Wayne Hutchinson. He's joined by Lucas Lodada, starting 18th. Ty Quila, 19th. He's joined by Justin Malia, starting 20th. Jason Willett, 21st. Jonathan Heavey, 22nd. Rob Peterson, 23rd. Jason Brophy is starting 24th. And then we have Hamilton Akabuisi starting 25th, Hugo Olson 26th, and Philip Krause 27th. And we are going green. There we go. Made it on time. Interesting that Aymeric Blom starting from the pits, and Phil Krause, Hugo Olson, Hamilton Akabuisi, and Jason Brophy, they're starting from the back. I'm sure they want to feel their setup in heavy traffic.
Yeah, it's basically gonna. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say it's and starting at the back at Indianapolis is one of those things. On the other hand, that it's not always a bad thing, because maybe it gives you a chance to just feel yourself into the race. But on the other hand, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position to possibly being caught up in an incident if it's right in front of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this
Looks
is
like Liam O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Liam O'Sullivan was about to lead the first lap. He took the lead from Andreas Eich on the backstretch, but Andreas Eich was able to take it back and lead the first lap. Here comes O'Sullivan again. And, swapping the lead is actually a real good strategy here.
Okay, give you an update of what we got going on with the overlay. As you see, this is a soft launch of our new overlay. We're going to try to run with it for the entire race. It doesn't have as much information as our old overlay had, or the what I call Race First 2.0. This is actually Race First 3.0 that we're looking at right now. And we're gonna try to run as far as we can with it. Doesn't have some of the key things that I like to have in the other one, but basically it's here for looks. It's not here for functionalities. We've been trying to release this thing for weeks, and we're gonna soft launch it today. So we hope everyone likes it. If it looks familiar, yes, it is in the style of a certain broadcast network, but it's not identical because I want some other features in it that they don't show.
Yeah, and as I come up to complete another lap, it's the lead is still changing up at the front. Liam O'Sullivan was in the front, but the lead has changed again into turn one, and a bit surprised at some of these.
Way up into the gray. Who was that? Lucas Lodato? No, I think that might have been Nacho.
Complaining right now. Yeah, Lucas was on the radio. He was asking, what was that?
Well, there is one of the NASCAR liveries out there. Felix. I think Felix is in a NASCAR livery on an IndyCar. Come on, Felix. Come on, man. You got to do better than that.
But hey, Jeff Gordon is at the track.
He is.
Or at least was at the track.
But he's not. But he's not in the lineup.
And yeah, what I'm seeing right now, I think everybody is kind of in a fuel save mode. Since we're not doing the entire 200 laps, and if you are in full push, you're gonna burn around, fuel for 29 laps around that time. You're gonna want to save a little bit, because then that way you can make it in 3 steps. Otherwise, you're gonna have to, go in for a splash and dash, and you don't want that.
Yeah, this is one of those weird races that we because we've had this car for so long. We know how long it runs full burn up front with no fuel save here at Indianapolis. It's 30 laps. It's basically 30 laps. And so we're looking at a 125 lap race. So basically it's going to be, 30, 30, 30. And if you could do just a little bit of fuel save at each one of the stints, then you should possibly get your 5 laps that you need, that whatever your last stop is. You don't need to do a splash and dash.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you can get to lap 75, if you can get to lap 75, or excuse me, it's gonna be 95. If you get to lap 95 for your final stop, you should be able to get to the end here, full burn, and not have to do a splash and dash.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a little bit of 3-wide action there. Hugo Olsen going through the field. He's up 8 spots, and
that's no surprise.
And Jason Willott now moving on Ty Quilla. So moving up to P17, 9 spots up from his starting position. Yeah, something I noted was that the tire, the track temperature is allowing for pretty much. In the past, we have seen that you are kind of stuck behind other cars around like maybe half a second, 4/10 of a second, and you cannot do anything because of the dirty air. But because of the weather, this time you can be as close as you want, especially if you make the right changes in your setup. And that's kind of what we're seeing there. Hugo Olsen still going for more moves, and you can use the top, you can use the bottom, you can pretty much put your car wherever you want, which is going to make for a very exciting race, I think.
And let's not talk about weather too much. Only in the sim version we'll talk about weather. We've talked about in the pre-race, I think tomorrow is going to be kind of wet here in Indianapolis. Oh, watch it side by side with Matsuda and Nacho.
Yeah, and you guys are talking about dirty air as well, and they also just like the general.
There's there was contact between those two. Sorry.
A little bit of a hip check there. Nacho got tight. Matsuda didn't want to budge. Luckily, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, but a couple of maybe Code Brown moments there. At least maybe for one of those two drivers, and probably for a driver or two behind them. As you see all that stuff develop, you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, you guys were talking about being stuck in the dirt here as well, and something that we didn't mention or haven't mentioned at the moment is depending on how the car feels, is we've still got jockeying for position, but if the stuff in the car that the drivers can adjust, you've got the front and rear anti-roll bars, and also you've got the weight jacket as well to help you with that.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks where, at least personally, I'm changing the weight jacket for every single corner. Because it's so different. And then on the straights, I also set it up to something different to, maximize the top line speed. But yeah, you have to be very, very involved in the adjustments that you're doing, because also the track changes. Your tires go away eventually. You need to. Ooh, that was very close between Lodato and La Rosa and Matt Holloway.
Let's go back there and take a look at that. Oh, look at them. They're all spread out behind him. 3 wide down the back stretch. That is Rashad Craig and Ty Quilla and Akabo Weezy to the inside. Brophy, a whole bunch of green cars back there.
Yeah, Rashad was put in a bad spot there from the move by La Rosa and Lodato, so he had to bail out, and he lost a lot of positions.
Everyone's being patient.
Not sure if they are all being patient.
I tell you what, man, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it. There's gonna be a big one in the back here. If these Felix is driving like it's a stock car because he's got it on the high line, and we know what happens when we drive the high line. The high line is in business here, even with the setup and with the temperature. Track tip is 108. I do not have a pop-up for that on this overlay, but I can just report it's at 108. Wind is to the north, going to the north, so it's from the south. They're getting a tailwind down the backstretch at 5 miles per hour, but there is going to be an issue back here if these guys continue to run that high side, because these tires are eventually going to give up and you're going to run out of room really quick.
Yeah, and also like Ryan was alluding to, you need to be on top of your adjustments. If you don't change your roll bars enough, if you don't change your weight jacker enough to make up for those changes in the track as they run the bells, car in the wall.
And we've got a caution.
And that is Rob Peterson.
No, Nacho La Rosa punted Lucas Lodato.
Sorry, that is... I just had the camera on him. Who was it? Nacho or Lucas Lodato? Lucas Lodato.
Nacho,
there he goes. Yeah.
Yeah, Nacho punted basically Lodato out of the way.
All right, let's go back and take a look here. We need to go back war in time.
And I'm not sure what Nacho was trying to do there, honestly.
Yeah. And we'll try to recue that.
Oh, and Matt Hollibo and Felix Ferrer are so lucky. Lucas Lodato actually went right above them. So they
watch this. Watch this reverse view. Oh, and there we didn't see it, but there was Hugo to the inside, so Nacho might have been exceeding his limits there a little bit because he wanted to keep the position, and he just ran right into the back of Lodato. There's kind of, and we're watching all the cars that cleared underneath him. Kind of no excuse for that.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I hope that gets an apology on the radio, because that was bad. We are back to live video here as we got guys coming down for pit stops. We are early, but might as well.
Yeah, but now it's not going to be a fuel save thing anymore. You can just go run as hard as you want, map one all the time. You're going to be able to make it to the end. You're going to have to stop another 3 times, I think. So it turned it basically to 4 bits of strategy.
Yeah, so we're looking at 45, 75, and 105. Yeah. Is kind of what we're looking at for 30-30-30.
Yeah, because you cannot save enough fuel to save 20 laps. No way.
Yeah.
So now I guess we're gonna get a little bit more aggressive. But it's still super early in the race.
Well, let's do a bit of a field reset, but give you the rule set for today. This is 125 laps, as you see. It is a 500K instead of a 500 mile. This is the only race on the IIS schedule this season that is not 100% length. And the admins and the community advisors, the community reps, kind of did everyone a favor, knowing that there was going to be a host of League 500-mile races coming up at Indianapolis. Then the week after this will be the official 500s. And leading up to this also, then the Open Series and the Fixed Series also will be here. I'm sorry, not the Fixed Series, but the Oval Series. They said, do you really want to do another 500-mile race if you don't have to? And they're like, nah, we'll just make it 125 laps, 500K. So that was really good of them. No tire limits. Of course, they don't have to worry about changing any tire compounds on ovals, so we don't have to worry about that. Here are all of the official track records you need to know about Indianapolis. Everyone asks, why is Arie Luyendyk still the track holder at Indianapolis when he didn't qualify on the pole? Because he was a second-day qualifier. That was the old rule. You might want to go look that up on Google. I could probably spend the next remainder of this race really explaining the qualifying rules of Indianapolis before their current model, which is way simpler. But the unofficial lap is Arie Luyendyk. He set that on Fast Friday back in 96, 239.260. I don't think we're going to see that speed anytime soon. Certainly not draft unaided. Lights are out on the pace car, getting ready to go green. Single lap official, 237.498, set by Arie Luyendyk on day 2 of qualifications. He set that as part of his run. That was his 4th lap run. Every single lap in that run got faster. So his 4-lap average, 236.986 miles per hour, is still the official 4-lap qualifying record. Your official pole record is now held by Scott McLaughlin at 234.220, beating Alex Palou record from a year before. And the official race record is 190.690. That's for 500 miles. That's Helio Castroneves. He set that in 2021. Getting ready to go racing, coming to lap 17. Green flag in the air. Here we go again, guys.
Green is out. Something that I noticed, Phil Krause went in the pits again and again, and now he's gonna have to do a little bit of catching up. He's around 7 seconds behind the field.
Wow, but, he is really by himself. I'm wondering if he's maybe using this as a bit of a test, or maybe did he possibly get some damage with the Lodato incident?
Maybe. I'll have to go back and look, but otherwise he's going to have to be, he's going to be flat out. Again, he shouldn't be concerned about fuel, but interesting to see that he's all the way back here on his own.
We will flip to last lap, mile per hour here as we'll start to populate that list here and see what happened with Phil. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Liam O'Sullivan, who has been racing a ton of these races. Seems like every time I flip to Craig Forsyth's stream, he is racing O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan getting his oval reps in here this week. And right behind him is...
so...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that is so important here. You have to do laps. You have to make adjustments to your setup, make sure that you're comfortable, especially for that big race that's coming next week.
Yeah, and another thing as well, but it's a good point that Antonio mentioned that. Another thing as well is with practice, the thing I've always found handy with it is getting traffic practice, practicing in traffic and getting practice with that dirty air and following other cars on a pack, because it's so vital, especially around the track such as Indianapolis, because basically, I actually find as well, as strange as it sounds, it's good for practicing stuff like crash avoidance in case, it's just stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. And you need to know how your car handles in traffic, because that's where you're probably going to be most of the race. Like in clean air, it's going to behave one way, but in traffic, really depends if you're behind 1, 2 cars, or if you're behind the entire pack. So, being in the middle of the pack really pays up. Learn how your car is going to handle, where are your strong suits, where are your opportunities, what do you need to fix, etc. And looks like Capuisi is now trying to make his way to the top. He's up to 11 spots, and right now hounding Nacho La Rosa there for P13. To the inside, side by side.
So this is the other reason why we have Antonio. Not is he only a good driver, is he could roll the R's in a way that I cannot do because I'm just too American. I just don't sound good. But, you know, when he says it, it sounds like so Rico Suave, you know?
Well, there you go. That's why you have me here.
As we'll watch him going through the north side of the racetrack. Of course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway sits directly on the north, south, east, west axis, so there's no odd angles here. And I noticed Jesper Orman back in the old livery, my preferred livery for that car, kind of modeled after. Well, I don't think he meant it to be modeled after, but it does remind me of the flag of Indiana, the way it's painted. But he is back in his car, former livery. I like it. And joining him up at the front is Mark Murphy in the new livery of IAR.
Yeah, I get a little confused with Kevin Burrell also being now part of IAR and having a different livery. Same for Mark Murphy. Happy to see that Hugo Olsen's still on his iconic livery, so it's easy to spot him out. And I was just watching Hugo. He's up 16 spots. He's still now working on Cesare Manzato, Italian. So, yeah, there you go.
And another thing I noticed on the overlay is that they're showing the number that the driver uses in iRacing, not the number they are in the split. That we do have that on another screen. If you need to know who the number one driver is, well, you're looking at the number 2 driver right now. That's Hugo Olsen. Number 1 driver is Akabo Easy back here in 16th. And also now here's Brophy to the inside of Craig. Here's a battle of 2 high-rated iRating drivers. Do have the points situation as we are settling into a bit of a rhythm. Although watching Orman looking to the inside of O'Sullivan. But let's take a look here at the point situation. It is Indianapolis, so a lot of people just really don't care about points, but we are in a points championship. Here we go. And there they are. Phil Kraus, who is a shotgun on the field currently at the moment. He is your leader. Kevin Burrell second. Pascal Stix, who is not in the lineup today. He is third. Alex Vanessant, who won one of the earlier splits in the week. He is the first session top split in the week, actually. He is fourth. Rosenborough's fifth. Hilgard, not in the lineup, is sixth. Matsuda 7th. He is in the lineup. Botenfuhr probably said he wasn't going to be here on the oval. He is 8th. Weiser 9th. Newman 10th. Marquez, who is in the lineup today, 11th. Robert Malechka, not in the lineups, oddly enough, today, is 12th. Connor Harrington, not in the lineup, is 13th. Andreas Eich, who is up here playing with our leaders, he is 14th. Sam Karsala, 15th. And Togo Hisada in 16th. That is your top 16 in the IIS points coming into this round.
Yeah, still Ike and Sullivan swapping the lead basically, with Orman very close to them. Like you said, we're kind of in a rhythm right now. I want to give a shout out to Michael Scott, the number 22 car, currently 7th. He's doing a great job hanging out with these guys. I mean, it's a name that we haven't seen in these broadcast splits. But yeah, good to see some of the newcomers adapting real quickly to the car and putting on a good show here.
Yeah, he's held on the position, but he has his hands full now, as right on his 6 is Hugo, who has been wasting no time. As you mentioned, 18 spots. Hugo has improved, and he is all over the tail of Scott Rambler here. And let's take a look here. You're going to try to take a peek to the inside, or is going to just stay right there in the draft? He's going to stay in the draft.
Yeah, he kind of had that. He had that impression that he was trying to make a move, but I think he decided against it because he was not close enough. And yeah, Indianapolis is not one of those tracks that you want to make a rash move around, because it can go horribly wrong. As it looks like Hugo's got a run, but again staying back. So I know he probably won't have to, but I've just got a feeling that maybe Hugo just fuel saving ever so slightly.
Yeah, it could be that, or maybe he is like, okay, well, if I pull out a line, it's like dropping a parachute, right? Like if you go to the inside trying to make a move, and there is absolutely nobody in front of you, the other car is still getting the draft from the cars in front, so you're not gonna be able to complete the pass unless you get a great drop.
Check out this pack behind Craig, though. Craig Forsyth. He is being hunted. Go a little bit further back, and there's Matsuda, yeah.
And Brophy now starting to make some moves. Capuisi trying to clear Felix further.
Yeah,
it was a little close.
I was about to say there was a bit of jockeying for position behind there as well, and yeah, I thought there was going to be a bit of an incident behind, because both of them got very close to banging wheels.
So as you guys know, the career wins leaders here at Indianapolis are Foyt and Unser Sr., Rick Mears, Castro Neves, each got 4, okay? So we got Franchitti, Meyer, Rose, Rutherford, Shaw, and Bobby Unser each have 3. Your current leading active drivers at the moment, besides a whole bunch of drivers with 1, is Castro Neves, and it just sounds so weird to say it, but Takuma Sato with 2.
Yeah.
Everyone forgets he has 2, but he does a good job here in showing that with the RLL car he's running this race. No one else in his team can do what he's doing, and he's showing that he definitely is one of the greats of the oval here. Okay, but trivia time. Oh boy, Felix was putting the block on Cabuizzi like it was going out of style. He went up to the high side and said no.
He's trying to go for that Mr. Excitement award that we give.
Cabuizzi taking a look to the low side. The problem is he doesn't have anyone in front of him that can help him pull up in the draft. So he's going to tuck him behind him down the front straight. It's not able to muster enough of a run to get underneath him in the 1. Meanwhile, he's got Brophy coming on him. Now, these two probably are working in the same voice channels together, so maybe Brophy is going to give him a little bit of room. Now, if a Cabuizzi can pops out, he will get the draft from Matsuda, but now Matsuda is just giving him dirty air on the bottom. Whoa! And he tucks back in.
Still trying to make the move.
And now he's going to stall out because
Yeah.
there's nobody in front of him.
Yeah. So, trivia time, no. And this is for anybody. Could be you guys, could be in chat. Team Penske figuratively and literally owns the Speedway. From 1972 to today, the team has amassed 19 Indy 500 wins between 14 different drivers. And, of course, you know Penske now owns the Speedway. Can anyone name those 19 different drivers? It's not hard, but it's not really easy.
Rick Mears.
That's the easy one.
Well, there we go. That counts for 4, right?
Right.
Willpower.
Gotcha.
Newgarden.
Yep.
Was Montoya driving for Penske?
On one of them, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won that for Penske.
Helio.
Yep. 3 of his.
So I'm up to 7, I think 10.
So you said Castro Neves, you said Montoya, Power, Newgarden, and Mears.
Hornish.
Yes.
Al Junior.
Yes.
Ammo.
Yes.
That, yeah, I think.
Did you already say Sam Warness?
Yes.
Who else? You probably need a day to answer this.
This is the best battle on the racetrack, by the way, with the Kabaweezy and Felix. That's
Felix is just not letting him, not giving an inch. Okay, so hold on, let me count again.
So you got Mears, you got
four,
Mo, that's 2. You got Little Al, there's 3. Astroneva's 4. Hornish 5. Montoya 6. Newgarden 7. I think you said Power, that's 8.
Yeah.
What about Danny Sullivan?
Yes. And it's 14 different drivers. 19 wins. 14 different drivers. Yeah, 14. So Danny Sullivan is 1.
I'll always remember Sullivan for doing that spin 1.
Yeah, and we also mentioned Demo.
Got Emo, yep. You ready? I can fill you in.
Yeah, I'm blanking out.
So the one of the hints was given 1972. So that's going to be Phil Donahue.
Yeah.
Or actually, Phil Donahue's, that's not his name. It's Mark Donahue. Phil Donahue's is the interviewer. Mark Donahue. God dang it. I'm watching Phil Krause. So I'm like, okay. So Mark Donahue, that's the initial win for Penske at Indianapolis, 1972. Uncle Bobby, 1981. The one that was taken away and then given back. And Big Al's 4th in 87. And
Jill, we did mention Big Al.
We mentioned Little Al.
But Graham mentioned Big Al.
He did? Okay. All right. Okay, we'll give Big Al. We'll give him credit. And also in there is Jill DeFerrin. I don't know if we mentioned Jill DeFerrin.
Right. No, we didn't.
And everyone's forgot about this guy. He tumbles over once at Mid-Ohio. We don't see him again. Simon Pagino.
Of course.
Oh, of course, I forgot about that.
There's your 19 wins, 14 different drivers, and Felix in the wall.
Oh, that was a.
And now everyone scrambles to get around him. That was a pretty hard lick. So let's see how injured he might possibly be.
I would not be surprised if that gave him slight suspension damage or steering damage.
Meanwhile, let's go back up to the front. That battle was kind of quieted, but that was really the best battle on the racetrack, watching those two jockeying for positions. It has really calmed down at the front. It's Sullivan and Ike have been kind of swapping the lead back and forth. Orman has been the interested party. Right behind him is his teammate Mark Murphy. Jameson Rodriguez, there's a name that we don't talk about very often on the Top Split. I can't think of any races that he's possibly been with us. So first of all, welcome. And he is currently in 5th. And he has been there all day. He has not gained any positions, but has not lost any positions. And I believe he is in a Dale Coyne. I believe that's a Nolan Siegel's livery that he tried to qualify.
Yeah, that's certainly Siegel's livery.
Where Siegel got a lot of respect from not just some drivers but fans about it. He's like, if I lift my foot, I'm not going to make it. If I keep my foot in it, they're going to make it. I'm going to crash. And he put it in the wall.
Yeah.
As some drivers might say, he put it in the wall like a real man because he's like really young looking. So he gained a lot of fans just by his full send attitude. Speaking of full send, Hugo Olsen right behind him, up 20 spots. I would say the Power Slide Indy 500 setup is working pretty good.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't surprise me either if those guys have been pretty much working non-stop or practicing for well in advance for the iRacing Indy 500. They just putting in as much practice as possible, and it probably shows right now.
And that's a good segue to Well, I'll bring up on the screen right now. Boom. The ultimate warm-up race. We will be broadcasting the open setup Indy 500 official open race. There will be top split Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. A lot of these same drivers you will see in that lineup. We will be bringing that as race 1 of 2 that weekend that we will be covering. But we will kick off Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern for the iRacing official Indy 500 open setup race. This is not the primary televised one that everyone is looking forward to, but they are going to treat it as a warm-up race for the big one. So we're going to see a lot of these drivers that are going to go from the back to the front, from the front to the back, testing their setups, giving these cars a good workout, and it should be a pretty entertaining race to watch. A lot of these guys attempt to do the worst the first challenge just so they can see that their cars are ready to go for the big race. Ty Quilla almost smacking the wall there, coming off corner 2 entrance or exit. Hugo Olsen getting around Jameson Rodriguez there. Move Hugo now up to the top 5. So we got Team Talent. We got Ryder Esports. We have IAR, and Power Slide is now your top 5 as the power teams have started to emerge at the front.
Yeah, and I was just about to mention that Phil Krause, no surprise there, but he caught the pack. He was 5 seconds behind at what point when we saw that. He has caught them, and now he has moved up 7 spots. The last victims were Jason Wallat and Ty Quilla last lap. And I'm sure that private label team Hype Machine has a really, really good setup. As he's been able to make his way through the field. He's now closing in on Aymeric Blum, the Frenchman from that new team that we saw. And we've seen a lot of these Frenchmen showing up for these time slots. So that's great to see. But Phil Krause is now in attack mode.
Well, let's watch how he attacks. New graphic that I'm going to bring up here. Driver inputs.
Yeah, and he did a great arc there, so that's going to give him not good enough of a run because there wasn't nobody else.
Well, it makes me think, though, that those cars are really set up for corner handling and traffic and not really set up to... Although, he did run everybody down by himself. So maybe he does have... that's the cost of running everyone down by yourself, is coming to pit road here on lap 45, although that is right at 30 laps. So let's see. And actually, he's at 29. He's at 29, so that's the cost of one last lap than everyone else.
Yeah, but that full push gives you 29 laps. Like if you're on clean air and you're going map 1, it's not even 30. Liam O'Sullivan as well, victim of the same thing. He pitted, and Matt Holliwell as well.
Yep, we're watching them pulling out of pit road here.
So I can imagine that now Ike is going to be dipping in. By the way, Hugo Olsen to the lead.
Yeah, Olsen storms to the lead.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me if Ike pits in or hits a pits this lap, or maybe within the next couple of laps anyway.
So right now in the pits it's Cesare Mandasato and Wayne Hutchinson.
Yep, and Andreas Ike's diving into the pits. He just notified people in the text chat. And that's the thing as well with this pit entry, because they're going so fast. It's basically one of those pit entries. You're going so fast, you've got to slow down really quickly. And if you overshoot the pit speed limit line by just a couple of kilometers, you get a big. You can get a
40-second hold. Yeah, 40-second hold.
40-second hold.
Yeah,
that's it. I was trying to remember.
Yeah, it basically destroys your race.
It's like the real life Indy 500. If you get a penalty around here in pit lane, that can just cost you big time.
Well, ask Scott Dixon.
Yeah, Scott Dixon. I think it was at 2022. He was pretty much he was dominating. And then basically in the race, he made that slight mistake on pit entry, and it just bit him in the backside.
Yeah, that cost him. That literally cost him the win. That's all he needed to do was hit pit road clean for the final stop, and that literally cost them the race. Pit stops are happening. Hugo Olsen is our leader, though. He has not stopped. He is in the middle of a battle there with Jesper. Mark Murphy just a little bit behind. So two Scandinavians up at the front.
Murph to the pits.
It looks like they might have it. I was about to say I thought there was going to be a change for the lead with the two Swedes, but they decide to stay in line.
And the other car involved there is Cesar Manzato. He is currently a lap down. The first car a lap down.
Rofi is going to be pitting the
And
standby.
Manzato pulls around Hugo to go to the tail end of the lead lap now, which he really needed to do in case there was a caution.
Yep.
And here comes Hugo. Watch him hit pit road so fast. Wow. That was
so
close. We were watching him.
Yeah.
We're all pitting in as well. Marcus.
Kevin
Hayato.
That's. I'm keeping an eye on Olsen to see if he got a speeding penalty, but it looks nice and clean. But boy, oh boy, that was so close to running it.
Was aggressive in. Watching Burrell barely in the box. This is some of the secrets that these teams do when they hitting pit road. He's just enough in to get service and doesn't have to drive all the way out of the box, saving on precious. You know, they say football is a game of inches. Well, it's inches there, right there for IndyCar racing as they are coming out of the pits.
Very close pit entry between Jameson Rodriguez and Michael Scott. They were very close together, almost hit each other on pit road. Jesper is in pits, Rashad Craig, Akabuisi, and yeah, we'll see where they merge back in. So I think that does it. Everybody has now made their pit stop, yeah. Yeah, Hugo is gonna jump them all.
Yeah, Jesper's just coming out the pits as well, and I think he'll come out just in front of this pack coming round down onto the back straight.
So move Olsen to the lead, 25 spots in front of everybody. And
Look who's in
Phil
fourth.
Prowse.
Look who's in fourth.
Phil Prowse, P4, 23 spots. Oh man, yeah, you can never count him out.
Currently best in class American right now. As he's got
Right.
Scandinavia behind him, and then they got Liam O'Sullivan from the Isles there right behind him. Hollenball 6, nice move up for him. Murph back behind Hollenball. I lost a couple spots on that pit exchange. Jameson Rodriguez, 8th. Good stop for him, still in the top 10. Marquez now up in the top 10, down 3 from where he started, but back up in the top 10. And Rambler, he is now 10th. As we were going to reset the field here, where leader is Hugo Olsen with 54 of 125 in the books. Jesper Orman and his good old-fashioned livery that he normally runs. And he's going to go to, well, I don't know what's going on in the backstretch. Hugo did a big defensive line to the inside. Nobody followed him, really. Andreas Eich 3rd, Kraus 4th, Sullivan 5th, Hollenball 6th, Murphy 7th now as we're getting a bit of a weave on the front stretch. Yeah. Rodriguez 8th, Marquez 9th, Rambler 10th. Craig Forsyth is 11th. Kevin Burrell is 12th. Actually, Forsyth is 11th. Akaboezy, excuse me, is 12th. Barofi 13th. Burrell 14th. And Zato 15th. Matsuda. We're cycling through the last couple there and there in the bottom there.
I was just about to mention Felix, who hit the wall. I think he did just square on. I don't really see any damage to the car, and so he got away with that one. Currently running 16th.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get away with contact on the wall around here. If it's normally side-to-side contact, you can get away with it. But if it's more kind of like hitting the wall at an angle, sometimes it can give you some suspension damage. And yeah, around here, it's not something that you really want.
Yeah, for sure. If your pancake is just like straight, like parallel to your car, then you're probably gonna be fine. But if you
that's
hit it,
tough
like,
to do, though.
Yeah, no, of course.
To hit flush, yeah, that's really tough to do.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Will Power or Takuma Sato or something like that. or even Catherine Legg, for that matter.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah, her qualifying run was fantastic to watch. But as soon as she hit the wall and kept it flat, I've got a newfound respect for her.
I hope she has a great 500. I like Catherine.
Well, I mean, we'll just say this. For her sponsor, target audience was reached. I'm like, what the heck is ELF? And my daughter walks by and goes, oh, that's makeup. I'm like,
Yep.
okay, well, target audience reached. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the word ELF, I thought it was basically the company associated with
Formula One for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, Formula One. I thought, is that really the company? And then basically I had to like research it, and I thought, oh, it's a makeup company. My bad.
Oh. Akabuisi got real close there to Craig Forsyth. He was trying to make a move on the outside on the front stretch, and that hole closed real quickly.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Mark me down at lap 59. No cautions yet. It's Kaboezy around Craig.
Well, we had the one, but so you're saying it's going to go green from here to the
Yeah,
end?
well, that's right. We did have the one earlier, the incident with Lodato, but we haven't had any cautions since then. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be pretty chill until the last, I don't know, 10 laps.
Yeah. Want to thank everyone for watching. We'd appreciate it. If you have not done so, click the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell so don't miss out on future Raceverse programming, including what we had in the promo there for our Indy 500 Open Setup 500 coverage on Friday, May 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be broadcasting that. And if you're just joining us, this is the Indianapolis round of the IIS, 500 kilometers today. So that makes the Europeans and the Canadians all happy because they can now measure everything in native if they wanted to.
So I'm looking that there are now a couple of groups, like from first all the way to 14th. Yeah, you have them all basically under a blanket, large blanket, mind you, but they are still within striking distance. Then we have Cesare Mansato in P15. He is running together with Felix. They are, and also Rashad Craig. They're all kind of in an island on their own. They lost the draft to the main pack, so they're just. I mean, I would assume that they would try and make and swap the lead in order to catch up a little bit, but so far that's not happening. And then we have another group behind them which has a lot of cars, actually 7 cars. Blum, Taquila, Peterson, Matsuda, Walad, Malio, and they are actually suddenly trying to catch up to Mansato, Ferrer, correct? That's the thing. If you don't get any additional caution laps, it's going to be tough. And I'm sure that happened through the pit stop exchange. Like when you saw Hugo Olsen really brake super hard and get in there super quickly, well, that gets you maybe half a second, maybe a little bit more, and your pit exit also counts. If you are able to go flat out, then that's also going to help. So yeah, maybe a little bit more conservative on these guys, and they ended up losing the draft.
Well, remember, half a second, if you go by IndyCar parlance, 1 second is a football field, and that's American-style football, everybody. Yep. That is one football field. So a half a field, or a half a second, is half a field, which is pretty big. I mean, that's 50 yards. Do the math. I'm not going to do it for you. I can't.
I can't. It is a lot. Let's just say it that way. It's a lot. Looks like Mansato and Fear are catching up. So that's going to become a 17-car pack.
Okay, here's our other promo that I want to bring up for everybody to remember. Oh, yes. We even got Delta Force for this one. Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Race first coverage of the top split for the Indy 500 fixed 500. Because we are back home again in Indiana. This is the one that, the big one that we expect. And a lot of these same drivers, they'll probably be in this one too.
Yeah.
But that is the fixed 500. Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern. That's just, that whole weekend is just going to be so busy for us. Not only we got 2 500s we're going to do, but somehow me, you, and Ryan got to figure out how we're going to fly to Detroit virtually and and do the IIS Detroit race on Friday at 4.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is Hugo Olsen pitted? I think he is.
Yeah, I was about to ask, is it just me or is this Hugo diver into the pits?
And he is on pit road. He is hiding behind the pylon for this camera shot, but there we go. And this is it's an early stop. Maybe this is scheduled. He is 15 laps into his current run. So this is possibly a short fill and tire change. Oh, that's a drive-through. Did he stop?
Now Orman pitting, Murphy pitting.
No, wait a minute. He was way. Oh, wait, he did stop because he was way in the back. I remember him. So that's why we saw him rolling. So, 10-second stop for him. So here comes Orman. He's going to roll a little bit to the front because he started a little bit higher than everyone else. And Murph is with him. So these are scheduled stops. So this is very early.
Yeah, but that yellow that came out kind of threw us a little bit into a different strategy, but they are going to be able to make it regardless.
Well, if they go 30 laps, traditionally 30 laps, this will bring them to 98. And then that's their last stop.
Yep.
Because remember, 95 or more, as Murph blinks out there, 95 or more is really, it will get you home. So Ike is your leader. Kraus is right on him in second. Both are 21 and 23 laps respectively into their runs. Kraus to the low side in 3 and to the lead.
Not surprising at all.
No, not surprising. and I don't see a whole sense of urgency in a lot of these drivers. They're like, we'll just let them go. I want to see how my setup does. Yeah. There might be some other drivers in here that have a higher sense of urgency, but a lot of these guys that are in the top 10, especially in iRating, this is really a warm-up race to another warm-up race. That's a lot of them, and after doing a week of Open and now IIS, and they're going to come back and do a little bit more of a warm-up race, a little less so when the fixed series comes to Indianapolis next week.
Yep.
What they need to do is they need to call the fixed series the Sprint series or something. And fixed series really should just belong to what is now known as the Oval Series, but...
Yeah, it is confusing.
It is confusing. Well, hey guys, let's talk about the new series.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
The Pro Series. We got a version of Road to Pro, I guess. That's going to be running Thursdays, and it's going to be broadcasted by iRacing.
Yeah, really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I was excited when I read that. That's I'm interested to see what drivers and also what teams will be signed up for that. But I would not be surprised if you see some of the big teams and the big names in the IndyCar community sign up for that. And intrigued to see what the driver lineups will be from each team.
I mean, I know I will try it out at some point. But yeah, that's super cool. When I was out of town, and then I read the announcement, I was like, I was telling my wife, like, look, this is so cool. We can make money out of this. But realistically, it's like it's gonna be a great place to showcase the talent of the field. As you know, as Ryan, you were mentioning, we're going to see all the big teams signing up for this. I can imagine that it's gonna be an extremely competitive series, and it's gonna be a blast to watch and duke it out. I don't know the schedule.
The first race will be September 19th, so it's a Thursday. This says it's a prize pool of $50,000 to the top open wheel sim racers in the world. Will compete starting September 9th in a series that features many of the IndyCar Series' most exciting venues. So I would suspect they're going to have more than just what's on the NTT IndyCar schedule, what we see here in the IIS. Each race will be broadcasted live at 8 p.m. Eastern Thursdays via iRacing social channels and the NTT IndyCar Series YouTube channel and website. And Hollenball's a bit. So that's very cool. It is going to be on the NTT IndyCar Series channel. So that is excellent visibility for these guys, and that's kind of what we strive for when we bring a lot of these races to you, is just give extra visibility to a lot of these drivers and these series that otherwise wouldn't get anything, just because it's really not on anyone else's radar. And it's great bringing these races to you, because these IIS. Oh wow! Tyquilla just pulls right up in front of Rashad Craig. I don't know if he was too happy about that, but they worked their way around. But that's one of the reasons why we bring the IIS. Is a lot of people really enjoy watching the IIS, and so we'll continue to bring that. And I'm wondering if with the Pro Series, if it has multiple splits. I don't know. Maybe race first, broadcast the second split. I don't know. We'll see. But that's...
Yeah, I know that they're going to be qualifying. Like before that happens, there are going to be some qualifying races in, I think it's July and August. So yeah, we'll have to find out how that's going to work and iron out the details. But like you said, it's going to bring a lot of visibility, and it's super cool to have IndyCar also committed to this and being present and being part of Butt Kicker also sponsoring, but yeah, IndyCar being like, I'm gonna promote this and I'm gonna showcase it to the world on my YouTube channel. You know, that's huge, and it's gonna be a great way to see how good these guys really are, because they are super good and very competitive. So yeah, really looking forward to that.
And Rob Peterson hitting pit road. He's got his Twitch channel on the side of his car. We'll give him a little screen time for that, making the top split. Here's the French team.
O'Sullivan is pitting as well. Yeah, Blom, AB.
Yeah, Merrick's name needs to be said with a French accent, because if you try to say his last name how it would say in English, you're probably going to say something you regret.
Yeah.
So I just... Balami. Baloma.
Or Blome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here's a side
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Tell us. We're side by side. Olsen and Orman. There was a battle that we just missed. Here's Hugo Olsen. So yeah, Butt Kicker gonna sponsor that series. That's great. Butt Kicker used to sponsor and still will sponsor the Lionheart series. That's good to see them getting involved in the official side of things. So very, very excited about that. It does conflict with the least that I know of will be the ERL is running that night. Their IndyCar series. But I'm not quite sure what the crossover is between what it would be for the Pro Series and the ERL. Because the Pro Series, you need to have a certain I rating in order to even qualify. And the ERL is just, it's a competitive league, but it's a league with no minimum requirement.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's anything like NASCAR's Road to Pro, as long as you make the enough points, then you should be able to qualify. I think it was for Road to Pro. I think it's like the top 20 in the qualifying series. They make it in. I mean, of course, it helps a lot if you are in the top splits consistently and winning in those top splits consistently, because that's going to net you more points. Basically, it's basic math.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have to be that way. If you're lucky enough to catch a single split race, which I don't think we're going to see, because I assume that pretty much everybody's going to be super excited to make it. But if you were able to catch one and had a good showing, well, if you score enough points, you might as well make it into the top, the top 20. And it's also going to be cool to see many of these guys have that black pro license that iRacing hands out.
Who was that into the wall? That was Felix. He smacked the turn 4 exit wall. He hit it flush. And we're going through the field. I got the basic information up, and got some areas where we need to debug. Of course, no information is showing there for him. We'll figure that out why, but he did smack the wall. He's in 11th. So what we have is the guys that went short and pitted, and now we have the guys that are out long here. Battle between Akabuwizi and Rodriguez. Jameson Rodriguez up 3 spots. Brophy is in 3rd. He is up 21 spots. Burrell staying out long as well. He's up 3 spots to 4th. There he is in that red and black. Yeah, red and black IAR car. I like that. Kind of has some Ferrari vibes to it.
Yeah, so the top 7 haven't pitted. That's Akabuwizi, Rodriguez, Brophy, Burrell, Craig, Melillo, and Wallach. They're gonna need to pit soon, because now they're in the window. It's been 30, 31 laps.
Yeah, all of them are right at 30. Yep, and then that should turn the lead over to Olsen, who is back in 8th. Actually, the lead might go to Orman, who's ahead of Olsen at the moment.
Yeah, so Orman, Olsen, Kraus, and Ike, those are the virtual race leaders. Once the top 7 make their pit stops, it's going to cycle out, and they're going to be back on top. But again, they still need to go ahead and pit, again, all of them. So, I mean, these guys that are running long, they're going to be able to make that shorter stint if, for whatever reason, they're getting heavier tire wear. This is going to benefit them, because then they can split it in half, basically.
This last group that hasn't pitted, they're going to have to stop again, because math-wise, they're going to have to stop for a splash at the end. Yeah. So those that did that early stop are actually in the position to go one last stop, and they're done. So I'm wondering that these guys that are staying out are really kind of praying to the gods now. Okay, this is no longer a warm-up race or an exhibition. I'm in it to win it, and I need a caution now. And the caution is not coming as they really want to. And that's to be expected of top split races. We've only had one caution.
Yeah, Brophy and Burrell already pitted.
Here comes
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
So now it's only Akabuisi, Craig, and Melia, the ones that we're waiting on.
Yeah, if you guys are enjoying race first coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. While you're at it, don't forget to smash the like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future race first iRacing broadcasts. And, of course, that's going to include, we're on pit road with Rodriguez. He did not hit his mark square, so that's going to cost him. And there is a battle for the lead, the virtual lead we just saw right there.
Akabuisi pitting. Same with Rashad Craig. Something interesting that Olsen was just mentioning in his communication, he didn't change tires.
Track temp, if anyone's wondering, is 122. I would imagine that's going to impact tires.
Yep, it should. I mean, it doesn't impact them as much if you're on clean air, which Hugo has been for the most part in the last stint, but he's still going to be at a disadvantage against Orman and Kraus, who are right there.
So we expect them to pit here in about 10 laps from now, give or take, for their final stop. So this is Indy Week starting next week. Fixed. We'll be at Indianapolis. Round out the season 2 of 24. Of course, the championship well decided many, many weeks ago by Robert Molechka, who's currently setting a new current point record of acquired points for the Fixed Series or the Oval Series. We have one more race there for the third stop on the race first Triple Crown. Of course, no one is eligible for the Triple Crown, but we'll bring it back, the challenge again for next season. And then later in the week, we'll be at Detroit on Friday, and then Friday night, be back in Indianapolis for Open, and then Saturday, we will be at Indianapolis one more time. Good thing I live here, for real and virtually. Back 9 p.m. East or 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday for the Fixed Series, and then we take actually a little bit of a break from Indianapolis until June when we Olsen in the wall, and that was a solid smack.
Yeah, that doesn't look good.
That had to hurt. And, okay, so fellas, how much of that do you think had to do with tires?
I think it was a big part of it.
Yeah, I think another reason as well could be also being on the high line. It could also be probably not a lot of people think about it, but there could be marbles on the outside or offline, and if you go on the marbles, sometimes you're just a passenger and you lose grip, and there's not really anything you can do. And yeah, that was a hard hit into the wall for Olsen, and I wonder if he's got any suspension damage or maybe even slight steering damage as well, because that was a solid hit on the front right.
I think it does have a little bit of damage. He's having to catch the car on every single corner, and he's losing a ton of time.
Let's ride with Hugo here and see how he's handling. He seems to be tracking straight. Of course, we don't know how much offset he had.
Yeah, but the right front wheel seems a little bit pushed in, so maybe there's a little bit of totaling damage to the car. It's certainly not. It doesn't have the top speed that he had before, and that actually it's going to benefit Brophy and from P5 on back, because the top 4 were pretty much gone.
I think he hit the wall again on corner exit. At least I saw a couple puffs of smoke there. But keep in mind that this is, I don't know what his ping is, so this might be having to do with netcode and lag as well. But that was a hit. Kabaweezy and Brophy battle for position back here for 5th and 6th.
I think they're swapping the lead, trying to catch back up to this group. And again, Olsen being there is going to help them because now they're only a second behind them.
That's the envelope, yep.
Yeah, and they were like 2.5 seconds before Olsen hit the wall. So yeah, I foresee that these guys are going to catch up real quickly. Brophy now under a second behind Olsen. You're going to see the damage. Everybody's going to go right by them.
And we're about 4 to 5 laps away from the final window opening for final stops for those on the secondary strategy.
Yeah, such a shame for Hugh. He was doing a wonderful race, and now he's gonna have to baby it until his window opens.
I think Burrell dropped.
Oh no! Yeah, I don't see him.
Yeah, Burrell's dropped all the way down to 24th, and I think it might have been basically dropped connection. Yeah, packet loss. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
same thing happened with Havy, also gone.
Yeah, that's
now Brophy making it by Hugo Olsen. There's absolutely no fight in that car.
And here comes Kabaweezy. So Kabaweezy, there's been a number of league or special event 500s that have been run. Kabaweezy won one of those, and his margin of victory was 0.004. Very, very close. Over in the ERL, they had their 500. Of course, I was part of that. I was in the booth for that. That was won by Caleb Binsey. The margin of victory for Caleb Binsey, 0.004. It's incredible that there are 2 races at Indianapolis in the IR18 at 500 miles, both on different days, different lineups, everything. And they both managed to finish with the same. Here's Olsen in the pit road, and this is a scheduled help me stop because I think he's struggling. But it's amazing that 2 races finished with an identical margin of victory that small.
Yeah, no, for sure it is. All right, so let's reset the field, shall we?
Yeah, Olsen down and away. I don't know if he had any. Let's take a look at the side of his car when it rolls by the camera here. That's going to be the side that impacted with the wall. Can't really tell. There might be some damage there. It's really hard to tell. All right, let's reset the field, shall we? Go right ahead.
Yeah, Orman got super tight, and now Brophy's going to take advantage of that, move Brophy up to 3rd. But yeah, resetting the field, Andreas Eich is now leading. Field Kraus 2nd. Brophy just made a move to P3, and behind him is Jesper Orman. And in this group, we also have Kabaweezy. So that's the top 5. Those are the guys that are, I mean, they are 2.5 seconds in front of O'Sullivan, who is kind of on his own. They're P6. And then we have another group led by Mark Murphy. He's 3.5 seconds behind O'Sullivan. He has Marquez and Rodriguez with him. And then we have another group that's led right now by Craig Forsyth. Cesare Mansato and Rashad Craig are there. And in P13, Matt Hollywood trying to catch up to that group. And Felix Ferrier also trying to catch up to that group.
Oh, Rashad Craig going to take it 3 wide into 1. Craig up high, Craig down low. It's a Craig sandwich. Manzato was the meat in the middle. Craig is still... we'll pick a Craig. Any Craig right here. Craig Forsyth in the blue. Forsyth green livery throwback there with 4D sponsorship. Rashad Craig in the black and bright green IAR car. Cars coming to pit road behind them. At Holland Ball just behind this battle.
I'm not sure if Orman is all right. I think he has an issue of some kind. He dropped way, way back. There are so many things happening right now, and pit stops are also happening. Mark Murphy is in, Cesare Mansato as well. That's the final pit stop. They're good to go from here to the end. we'll see where they cycle out. But yeah, I'm keeping my eye on Jesper. He doesn't seem to be trucking or going as fast as he was doing earlier. Maybe he touched the wall a tiny bit, similar to what happened to Hugo.
Well, let's take a look. Got the driver inputs on the left side there. We're riding over the shoulder. My good friend Jesper Orman. 222, 220, 220. Yeah, we're struggling a little bit. 221.
Yeah, he seems to be a little loose on the corners as well. So
yeah. And he's going to the inside on pit entry. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, no, that car is evil. It's not handling correctly.
Yeah,
so better to bail out and hit in right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's to the point where he can't get to the finish on his last stop. But yeah, you do not have to use the pit entry roads on the north end of the racetrack to come to pit road. You just come off 4 and go. And he did have a teammate behind him, so I think maybe he was trying to get out of the way of Murph. Murph, who passed him, I think there's down in now 20th spot, a lap down. Not sure what happened to him.
He went to the pits. He's good to go.
Oh, okay, so a scheduled stop. Gotcha. New tires and fuel.
He barely scraped the wall. They're getting feisty. We are now in the last part of the race. 26 to go.
Let's see him. Is he? Look at that push. That was. I don't think you could have slipped a piece of paper in between his right rear and the wall there.
Yeah, very, very close.
Purple lap is Phil Kraus. Not sure when he set it, but it was a 40.369. A lot of smoke on pit road. Not sure what happened there.
Matsuda, Hutchinson, Leo, they went in for their laps.
Final stops, all right. So all these leaders, Kraus, Ike, Brophy, Akabuizi, Jesper just stopped. But Liam O'Sullivan.
The yellow flag is out.
There's a caution. What happened?
I'm not sure what happened. I just saw I was looking back up to the front and they just spotted a caution coming out. So, yeah, Gary was saying it. We were pretty much going to go green all the way, and you just jinxed it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Emerick Blum. Blum.
Okay, yeah, we just got on his car here. We'll take... We'll go back in time in the Wayback Machine, see what happened. And he's already on pit road there. Okay, there he is. Okay, so he is racing with Hugo down the backstretch. Cuts in front of him. High exit up into the gray, but he keeps it off the wall on the short chute. Let's see what happens here now. How about an odd arc entry in the 4? Doesn't all the way get to the bottom and the back end. He might have been coming to pit road for all we know, but back end possibly braking while turning. The back end gets loose, maybe.
Yeah, that can happen. I've been there. After a long stint, the tires get superheated, and the car gets super loose. So it could have been that. As everybody now is going to be pitting. This is going to be benefiting Orman and Sullivan, who are still on the lead lap, and they're going to be moving up to the front of the field. But yeah, I've been there. I've done that. It's a tough one. And Murph, Marquez, Forsyth, Masato, they're going to get their lap back through the wave around.
Yeah, there you see Murph, the lead car behind the pace car. The wave around, if you're not sure what we mean by that, is that it is an IndyCar rule. Actually, now it's a rule of a lot of series where the leader will pick the race back up when the race resumes back to green. But in the meantime, these cars opted to stay out. They might pit next time by. We don't know. But if they stay out and we go 1 to green, they will get a wave around, and that will allow the leader to cycle up behind the pace car and then dictate when he can bring the field back to green, which is his right as leader. We'll see if any of these guys come down pit road. They should be. Murph only 5 laps into his stint. He should be good to go for sure now, certainly with caution laps.
Yeah, I think they are all going to get the wave around, including Hugo Paulson, who is the one that pitted the earliest, lap 93, because of that damage that he had. But now he's going to be able to, make it to the end, no problem at all. Yeah, so yeah, I see Murph, Marquez, Forsyth, Masato, Matsuda, Peterson, Hutchinson, and Olson. They are all good to go to the end, so they're going to get the wave around here. Well, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be 20 laps, and it's going to be O'Sullivan in the lead, followed by Jesper Horman, Phil Prowse, Andreas Eick, Jason Brophy, Hamilton Akabiusi, and Jason Rodriguez, and Rashad Kurek.
Yeah, he's not, there you go. Pick it up, Hollenball.
Yeah, Matt Hollenball, Jason Willard, Nacho La Rosa, Ty Quillan, Felix Ferrier. They all pitted right now, so they're gonna have good, the best tires right now. So it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a dogfight here.
Yeah, it's almost a level playing field. Liam pitted 4 laps ago, and Jesper 5 laps ago. So they're slightly older tires, but not old enough, I think, to really be too detrimental to these cars. Not until we get later into the run. That might be, and at the end of 20 laps, it might be at that level, but we'll see.
Burrell is back. Oh man, unfortunate that he had that disconnection.
Yeah, there he is on pit road. They wheeled the car back out for him. So I think we're... Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say credit to Kevin for getting back in the race, but we're just about to, the safety car goes in, and we're just about to get back underway for the closing stages of this race.
Green flag, green flag.
Green's in the air. Coming to the final stages here of the race. Ooh, Tyquilla pulling out to the high side. Going around Felix on the high side. Not a good enough run. Oh, car on the wall. Peterson, nope. Hutchinson, no, I can't get on him. Who is in the wall? Manzato. That's why we don't recognize so many of these liveries. And what are you doing, man? Toe. Don't go to caution. Toe. Toe, toe, toe. Toe. Toe.
In the meantime, there's a great battle brewing.
No.
Sullivan, Krause, Orman.
Battle for the lead, three wide into turn 1.
3 wide.
And they're getting ready. They're going to encounter. They're going to encounter Manzato on the backstretch if he hasn't towed yet.
He's pulling to the left.
Yeah, he's trying to get a caution. That's not cool.
Yeah, that's a bit of if that's trying to get a caution, that's bad sportsmanship. But
Orman
again,
to the lead.
Yeah, Orman coming to the lead, and I wonder if we'll get a 3-wide battle heading down the start-finish line. But again, it looks like is it Krause is trying to make a move for the lead, heading down to turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to get on your case, Cesar, but you got to tow that thing, buddy. You got to tow that thing. I was in a hosted race. I was broadcasting a hosted race last night, and somebody that was participating in it, for just no reason, pulls the car down to the apron and stops, and then brings out the caution, and then leaves the session. I mean, there's etiquette that does matter, and people do remember that stuff. I know you want to bring it back to pit road, but tow, buddy. Tow it back to pit road.
Yeah, we have a long memory.
Meanwhile...
Al's got a jump on everybody.
He's starting to put some space in between him and O'Sullivan. It's probably the biggest lead we've seen all day of when actually racers in direct contact with one another. Here is the snake down the backstretch. That is not blocking. He is not reacting to the car behind him. It's making it difficult to pass him, sure.
Oh yeah, but that's kind of the threat. Sullivan got a great run there. But Phil Krause very smartly goes to the inside, forces Sullivan to go to the outside, and without draft, it's hard to pull that out. Orman to the inside of Sullivan.
Yeah, we've got free wide him down to turn one again. Don't do it, guys. Oh, that was.
Oh.
He almost did a Brazilian clear there on Sullivan.
Oh, I could have ended up in disaster.
It even tongue-tied Ryan. Ryan's like, don't. I hear you, man. Ooh. And here comes Brophy to the lead with his teammate. And rule 1 of racing your teammate, don't wreck your teammate. Rule 2, see rule 1. Rule 2 has been followed. Krause gonna come say hi to the guys on the inside wall there.
Yeah, another change for the lead into turn 1, and I think I've just got a sneaky feeling heading towards the final 5 laps. I think I've just got a feeling we might have a big one.
I think they're gonna be swapping the lead just a little bit to see if they can do any kind of separation between themselves and the guys behind. It has to be very well organized in order to make it work, but they're teammates and they're really good. You can see that there's no longer any weaving going on. Sullivan has driven a great race. To be hanging out with these guys, he's done a remarkable job there.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of classwork done, learning from these guys.
We've got another change for the lead heading into turn 3, and it looks like it's Brophy into the lead now. But no doubt that will change before the start of turn 1. It looks like Krause has got a run, and again he's got the run, taking the chance to move back into the lead into turn 1, and it looks like behind as well the top 2 are just slightly breaking away, and it's O'Sullivan in 3rd place having to think about what the attention of Hamilton.
Yeah, he's in the clutches of Hamilton right here.
As Hamilton tries to go for the move up the inside into turn 3, can he get it done? But O'Sullivan's not giving it up.
Yeah, and the outside really works here, so... and now Hamilton got a little tight there. It's going to have help, because Krause is moving to the lead, but not enough. Yeah, and I can imagine that both Krause and Brophy are smiling, because now they're seeing these guys fight each other out, and they're being able to, extend that lead. It's now up to 6/10, which is, like you said, the largest one that we've had for the lead.
Again, Brophy will go for the lead, and again the lead changes hands, and this is why I love IndyCar racing, because it's a bit of it's kind of an oval version of a game of chess, if you like, because it's basically everyone makes their move, and when it comes to the final lap, what do? Do you wait to the back straight, or do you try and take a chance into turn 1, knowing that you might be basically yeah, basically easy picking for someone that's behind you.
Strategy at 240 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I think Jason Willett hit the turn 4 wall on exit there last time by. Watching him, see if that's any impact to his pace. But yeah, everyone is giving it a full push. And also 126 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature. I don't think we've seen it as hot all day. And there is a wind going to the northwest now at 4 miles per hour. So it's actually pushing them up against that turn 4 wall. Six tenths back to O'Sullivan between these two at the lead. 10 to go. Oh, Hamilton almost sliding out to the wall to greet it. Kept it off. Oh, almost turned 4.
Again.
Yeah, that was so close. There's basically both these drivers up in front are leaving nothing on the table as they back up to the front. Kraus back to the lead.
And let's do your top 10 here real quick as we get into the closing stages. Kraus and Brophy swapping the lead back and forth. O'Sullivan is third. He is holding off and charging Akabuizi. Jesper Orman back in the battle, back in fifth, though. Not in direct contact. Let's see if he can reel him in. Andreas Eich's been at the front all day today. Here's Akabuizi to the inside of O'Sullivan, and is he going to be able to pull that off? The high line is actually pretty good. He gets a clean clear there, and move Akabuizi now up to fourth. Maybe he can run down. Excuse me, third. Now he can run down the two private label team hype drivers. Ike is
and that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, that pass started all the way on the exit of 4. O'Sullivan got a tiny bit loose. He had to correct the car a tiny bit. That allowed Hamilton to get side by side with him, and then he ended up completing the pass entry in turn 1. But yeah, that just goes to show that whenever you have a tiny moment, even if it's super small, it can really affect you. But now Akabuizi has already caught back up to Brophy and Phil Kraus.
Yeah, he's right there. Ike is sixth as we are going through the field here. Jameson Rodriguez, give a shout out to this guy. He has been in the top 10 all day long. He's down 2 spots, but for a name that we don't see on the top split very often, hanging with all these other names that we see all the time in the top split, bravo, sir. Not quite the race of the day, but definitely a drive of the day. The race of the day belongs to Jason Willett. Even though he did bounce off the wall a couple laps ago, he is up 11 spots. He is up to 10th now. Hugo Olsen is struggling now. He is down to actually, I think Hugo is actually passed. My overlay, my other supplemental overlay or scoring and timing and scoring is very slow. Hugo Olsen now up to 11th. Sorry, over
yeah, he actually made Hugo has actually been making a couple of spots back.
He's 15 spots.
Yeah, but he's complaining that his top speed is down. It's stopping up at 219, but he's still being able to make moves. So even though he had damage, although he's in there. And Jameson Rodriguez actually made it by Andreas Ike, so moved him up to 6th, and now he's catching with Jesper Orman and Liam O'Sullivan. And at the front, Akabuizi
is there. And he's going to go 3 wide. Nope, 2 wide, but he's going to get the position on Brophy. Nope, Brophy's going to full send to the outside. Keep it next side by side on the I5G driver through the short chute in the turn 4. Still side by side. Problem is, I5G driver does not have a teammate up there, whereas Brophy is just going to follow Kraus and get the private label draft. Four to go.
Almost made it by Jesper Orman there. So Jameson Rodriguez still making it, making it exciting. 4 to go.
It is a qualification run, 10 miles. Kraus with the fade going into the corner, cutting across all 3 lanes and in 2 lanes of his primary competitors there. Very defensive line indeed. Down the front stretch here, coming to 3 to go. Brophy pops out. I think we're gonna have another photo finish here.
Yeah, it seems that it's gonna happen that way.
Yeah, and Indy does seem to have that tradition of photo finishes, and it was like,
and Akabueezy through the middle. Akabueezy through the middle. They threw the block on him. Oh, wow, there's not a lot of room there. 3 wide. This is like the start of the real 500, guys.
Yeah, this is. It looks like Hamilton's got the run on the outside. Kraus is going for the move on the inside. 3 wide into turn 1.
Oh, they were able to keep him at bay. 2 to go.
Just taking this all in, shouting and real loud at this point at 3 wide. All it is going to just take away from the action on the racetrack as they're jockeying for position down the backstretch. Oh, and there's contact. There it is. There's your caution, and Kraus is going to get the win.
Oh.
That was so unfortunate, but I did have a feeling that a big one, well, not a big one, but something was going to happen. And something tells me that Jason and Hamilton will not be happy with each other.
Yeah, let's rewind this a little bit more. We'll pick it back up in turn 1, and then we'll pick up the field here. We'll watch the incident, and then we'll pick up the field again live here so we can watch Kraus get the win under caution. If this was the real 500, we would red flag it at this point, so we could give the win. So we can give the win to Liam O'Sullivan to drop by him on the last lap. Anyways, no, still not better. Akabueezy to the inside, a bit of a fade to the inside. Now he's kind of coming up now into Jason. Not a lot of room given to Jason on the high side. Yeah, I think we're just taking a lot of room from it. It's hard racing, but I think there was a lot of room being taken away there. It was going to be hard for Jason to make that arc in the 3.
Yeah, I mean,
Rashad Craig just sneaking by on the high side.
And yeah, no, I think it's more of a racing incident.
And here we come. We're going to pick up the leader.
Phil Kraus 26 spots up from his starting position.
Kraus, O'Sullivan, Orman. And Brophy limps her home, but not in the position that he wanted.
And Jameson Rodriguez P4.
Yeah, he did find the wall. Good thing they didn't go back to green. He did find the wall in that incident, and probably was going to be a little down on pace, and still brings it home 4th. Great run for Jameson. We were talking about we haven't seen him very much on the top split, and when he's here, a good run. All right. All right, so let's see now. This is the first time I go into the results page, so we'll check this out. Going to the results page. Oh, look at that. I mean, it doesn't really tell me all the information I want to know, but your final results. Phil Kraus gets the win under caution. Liam O'Sullivan 2nd. Jesper Orman 3rd. Jameson Rodriguez a top 5. Good run for him. Congrats. Andreas Eick up there in the top 5 all day today. Finishes 5th. Rashad Craig from the rear to the front in 6th. Hollenball 7th. Great run for him. Felix Ferrer, Mr. Excitement.
Mr. Excitement.
How do you say Mr. Excitement in Spanish? Senior what?
Entretenimiento. Señor Entretenimiento.
Senior Entertainment?
Yeah, there we go.
Senior Entertainment. is 8th. Hugo Olsen probably did not need any more green flag running, finishes 9th. Willott, despite smacking the wall there off corner number 4, finishes 10th. Good run for him. Next page. Marquez at 11th. Craig Forsyth 12th. Nacho back in 13th. Peterson 14th. Mark Murphy back in 15th. Matsuda 16th. Hutchinson 17th. Tyquilla 18th. Brophy involved in that last incident 19th. Kabawizi in 20th. And Justin is 21st. Cesar 22nd. Amric 23rd. Kevin Burrell, the general, unfortunately, with bad telegraph lines there, 24th. Havy, excuse me, is 25th. A Rambler, who we saw up in the top 10 for quite a while, is 26th. And Lucas Lodato with the barrel roll in the early caution is 27th out of your 27 car field. All right. And let's bring up Jesper is in the interview room, so we'll bring him up. Hey, Jesper, this is Gary, and you got Antonio and Ryan. So, are we all warmed up for the main event for next week now?
I've been running a lot this week, testing, and
well, talk about your race. Talk about it. I mean, how ready are you from what you learned today of what the fixed and open races could be like next weekend?
I have to say that the car feels okay in colder temperatures, but I feel personally that I'm struggling in the hotter temps, especially on old tires. I just got destroyed there a couple of times. I think we can work it out, but I'm a bit worried because it seems like none of our aero changes really gets the car to that place where I want it. So yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle bus, but I enjoy it. And I mean, the car is good. Finishing P3, or at P5, I should say. So I mean, the car is not the strongest out there, but it's not the weakest either. I'm just impressed actually by the Team Talent, Team Hype guys, private label. They've really come with a new package this year, and they look really competitive.
Well, when you say new package, where do you think they're gaining on you guys? In the corner, down the straights, just in general, all over the place? Or I know you guys work really, really hard. So where do you think that they made gains this year?
They just look like they have better balance somehow. I was trying to catch Phil yesterday as well. I couldn't catch him. So they got the speed and they got the corner speed as well. So we just gotta find that little final thing. But I mean, P3, I got lucky. There was a wreck there, of course. It should have been P5. I'll take it any day, you know.
Hey,
Sure thing.
Jesper, we saw you had kind of an issue coming to your last pit stop. You actually used the access road at some point. What happened there? Did you have any damage, or were you running out of fuel? We didn't really get to catch it, but you were kind of like losing a little bit of touch with the leaders at that point.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I totally forgot to pit on that lap before because I was all over the tools. The car felt horrible.
It looked horrible.
I just did a Ericsson. I just didn't pay attention. I just forgot. So I got lucky because I had 0.4 gallons left. So I kind of could, what's it called? I could go into the clutch and
clutch and coast.
Yeah, exactly. So I lost maybe 3 seconds, and then I just got super lucky that yellow came out and I was back up front. Probably could have fought off Liam a little bit better. I messed up a little bit there in turn 2, which messed up my position. But yeah, it's kind of annoying to have a guy, that not supposed to be there. But hey, he's working what he's got. He's working with what he's got, and it's not his fault. So,
You know
yeah.
what you need, Jesper. You need a really good spotter to remind you of these things.
Exactly. I feels like any change I make in the pits just makes the car worse. I don't understand what it is.
Well, third today, a good way to. I'm sure you're going to run in the other race tonight. Are you? This it for you? Are you going to run in the other race tonight, or is that too late for you?
It is too late.
No,
I don't think I can learn too much right now. It's about getting into some offline sessions, trying to figure out what's going on, and just trying to be prepared for next week. And also, we got to work on that Q set when come Monday.
Yeah, qualifications open for Monday. Yeah, and
we don't know the conditions on the track, so we're gonna find out on Monday night, and from there on, it's work.
Yep. Well, shout outs, teammates, friends, families, loved ones, anyone who wants to say hi to, go right ahead. Finish third. While you don't think you deserve it, man, you got to drive to survive. Sometimes you got to race the racetrack. You did a little bit of both today to bring her home third. I think you should be pretty happy about that. And I think you're pretty. I think you're in a pretty good space for the coming weekend. So go ahead and give your shout outs. I think you should be a lot happier than you've been spoiled by riches lately. I think you should be a lot happier on this finish.
Yeah, I mean, over 6K again, so that's always that. But
congrats on that, by the way. That's a big deal.
Thanks. Yeah, we got Kevin on board now, and Sam Kursala and Mark Murphy on board. So yeah, we're growing, and feel like we're a great group of guys, and working hard, and yeah, we're having fun.
All right, well, that's Jesper Orman finishing third here in the IAS Top Split here on Saturday. Congratulations, and I know we got other Indy races coming up on the schedule, and we're probably going to see you in many of those. So until next time, but until then, get back to work.
Thanks, man.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Jesper. Let's bring up Liam into the booth. Hey, Liam, here with Gary, Antonio, and Ryan. Man, you have been putting in the overtime. It seems like anytime I see someone with a live stream of Indy, you're right there, and typically right at the front. And once again, at the front all day today. For someone that says that they're not much of an oval guy, I think that you're trying to sandbag us. Because every single race I see, you're up at the front. So what are you learning? Are you learning something new every single race, or are you just really pulling the wool over our eyes?
I mean, first of all, this result is so big for our team. Like, to be able to go up against, like, I was leading on that caution. Yeah, we got there through strategy, but I was up there in that top 10 the whole time, which I was, like, amazed at. To be able to be there with 15 to go, fighting the names I'm fighting with kind of all the resources, like, we sort of have it, but at the end there, I mean, you can see it. I can't follow as close. I've not got that kind of last little edge to really fight for it. So it was kind of hanging on a bit. I was preying on the weight jacker. I was having to drive hyper aggressive. Kind of, yeah, and then praying they'd crash ahead to get a result there. But I mean, I was, yeah, kind of a bit shaky with who was around me. I mean, like, there's running in VOR, and then there's that. I mean, it's like that was insane. Like, I wasn't even expecting to make this split. Like, I just did this. I thought, okay, I'll get maybe fight for the win in split 2. That should be relatively easy. And then I turn up and see all the names, and it's like surreal. But yeah, I mean, it's such a big. I just shout out Writer Engineering Esports, especially Josh. Like, that's the only reason, the support there, that I can be in that position. Like, I wouldn't have the setup to be able to do that otherwise.
Oh yeah, this is 27 car race. You were the 26th ranked car, so I would imagine the iRating reward was pretty nice on this one.
Yeah, it was 120, I think it was.
Payday, nice.
Yeah. It's about racing these guys and learning, especially for a team like us, pushing forward, because, like I said, we're kind of I don't want to say out of position, but it feels like it. But that's the performances we need to do to be there consistently, and not just me throughout the team. We need to be putting in them performances.
Guys, got any questions for him? Otherwise, we'll send him the shout-outs.
I just want to say congratulations, Liam. You did a hell of a job hanging out with those guys, and it's really cool to see you. Just being able to fight it out and dig it out with them. So congrats, man.
Yep, thank you.
Shout-outs, friends, families, teammates, and we want to say hi to for finishing second here today for the IIS Top Split.
First of all, I've already mentioned them before, but I really want to just thank Reiter for the way they picked me up in VOR straight away for the first race. Big, like, Josh, completely responsible for where I am at the moment and how I've kind of continued this development curve. Not just to do it on a fixed setup, but to do it on an open setup, not on an even playing field, was amazing. Again, this is kind of one of the first, just jumping back in after exams, as I mentioned to you, after VOR, so my last VOR race, so it's kind of a nice return as well after a little break, but I've still been grinding Indy a bit. Want to thank Mum and Dad, probably watching, for the late saying that I was going to do this race, because I wasn't expecting to be in top split. Like, me and Matthias were kind of sat there like, oh, we'll have a nice time in split 2, we'll work together, like planning already, and then I kind of get chucked into this, which is a completely different race. But yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, congratulations, my friend, and we'll catch you at the next one. I don't know, you're not necessarily a big competitor in the IS, but maybe you want to be now since you got a good finish out of this. Maybe we'll see you at Detroit here next week. Although next week's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, it's always difficult for me because it's, again, the timings and stuff I always kind of struggle. So this is kind of a luxury one-off for me. Detroit, I might try, but I'm not sure. I don't think I can be as competitive there. Even though I'm a road racer, I feel like my ovals come on so much. It's like maybe that's starting to become my weakness. It's really weird.
All right. Well, Indy has a long history of one-off, so even if this is a one-off for you, congratulations, and we will catch you at the next one, and hello to Mom and Dad.
Yeah, thanks, guys, as well.
All right, let's bring up the next one. Real quick, answer a couple questions in chat. Justin Mello, entered an emergency with 40 to go, had to pull off for a few laps. Okay. David Noggle, yes, this is an official race. The custom numbers are being pulled from their iRacing accounts. It is I need to take this back to a developer and say that they need to pull the numbers from what iRacing gives them in the split. So yes, this is official IIS, and this is the top split of the Saturday 2 p.m. Eastern time slot. So we'll just get that fixed with the developer. We're trying out a new overlay. For the most part, I think the overlay worked pretty well today. So a few things I still like to see added in it, but we'll get that taken care of. So David, there's the answer to that one. And Jason Wallet says setup was for majors and not designed for 120 degrees on track temperature. And if anyone is interested, Jason says he'll be attempting to qualify for the Butt Kicker IndyCar Racing Pro Series. So best of luck to you, man. We see you here a lot on the top split races, and we know you got pace, so hopefully that carries over in that Pro Series. Let's bring up another real pro, Professor Phil. Hey, Phil. Doing the worst from first challenge, so to speak. We saw you very early kind of start back with empty track in front of you, ran everybody down, passed everybody, and, well, surprise, surprise, you ended up back at the front and got the win. Are you all set then? As you tried everything you needed to try for coming up to the big races next weekend?
I will say I did not mean to leave a gap to everyone. That was because my wheel was messing up and it wasn't detecting my input, so I had to pit and fix that. But,
well, very fortunate there in that case, but still, I mean, now you know how your car drives by itself when no one else. I mean, you ran everybody down.
Yeah, car goes fast in clean air, but yeah, still, obviously this race is basically like a glorified test session for the 500 next week. So it's nice to see our cars performing a lot better in Dirty Air than it has in years past. So hopefully things go well. We'll see. Obviously, a lot of the guys are out in Indy for, the actual 500, so there's a lot of cars who aren't racing, but it's still a good test session to see what our car does and see what we can improve on.
Guys, any questions for our winner?
Yep. Hey, Phil. It was great seeing you going through the field, but at the end, you were fighting real side by side with Hamilton there, and you were changing the lead with Brophy. Was there at any point where you feel like, oh no, I'm in danger?
Right after I left the pits and realized I underfield by a tiny bit, yeah.
Oh.
I was having to manage my maps and the gaps with Hamilton. I was just trying to work with Jason the best I could to manage the race with him, and once Hamilton cleared Liam, he just kind of rocketed right up to us, and then it was just trying to manage the Dirty Air, see if we could box him in, see what could happen, and then fortunately they came together on 124. I still need to look back and see what happened there, but I think it was mostly netcode.
What about that 3-wide battle like the lap or two before? I mean, neither one of them gave you a lot of room on the high side there and the north short chute. I mean, it's either right into the car in the middle or you were up against the wall. Either way, it wasn't a good spot for you. How close was it up there on the north short chute?
I mean, really, I wasn't doing any space there. I had like a quarter of a front wing alongside, so I should have just lifted and spared myself. So I'm lucky that Hamilton and Jason left me room just about. But they got together below me just a tiny little bit, so I definitely made things a little annoying for them.
Well, before we let you go, two things. Shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anybody you want to say hi to while you're here. Second thing is, you need to make your Indy 500 prediction.
We'll start with the easy one. Thanks to Jason Brophy, everyone at Private Little Team, Hype Team Talent, all of them. We've put in a lot of work to the Indy 500 this year because we were not happy with our performance in 2022. I mean, we were happy with the qualifying performance, race performance not so much. So we've definitely switched gears this year to focus on the race and trying to have a stouter race car because we want to fight for the win this year.
Using those old push rods, just like Team Penske, huh?
No, we're just running the exact same setup as last year. I don't know what you're talking about. No. But yeah, obviously big thanks to all them. And for the 500, I'm feeling Rossi wins it again.
Okay. But if he wins, he's got to display the baby Borg in the house, man. I think last time on 100 Days to Indy, he said he still had it in the box, and I'm just like, man, that's so disappointing.
I've got a lot of things in boxes that shouldn't still be in boxes.
I know, but you're not Alexander Rossi who won the 500. you won this one. I mean, if there was a trophy we could give you, I hope we would put it on display. But anyways, okay, so calling a shot.
I don't think they give out particularly big trophies for Indy 500Ks, I think it is.
No. You maybe you'll see a certificate from John Henry and David Kramer. I don't know.
John iRacing sending it through right now.
Well, hey man, congratulations. Good seeing you. We will see you next. Will we see you in Fixed on Tuesday? Possibly or no?
Probably not.
Probably not. So we will probably see you on we'll do the ultimate warm-up race Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern for Indy Open for the Indy 5, the official Indy 500 there. So we'll probably see you there next. Until then, best of luck and everything that you got coming up this week, and we'll catch you at the next one.
Yep. Cheers, Gary. Thanks for the coverage as always.
No problem. All right, fellas. Thoughts on today, and we really won't talk about the next race because kind of the next race on the schedule is kind of irrelevant right now until we get there. Although we are looking at Detroit next. I don't know what the participation is going to be like, especially when you scheduled it right on top of when iRacing scheduled the official 500s right on top of Detroit week. It's really not going to be very fair. I would imagine we'll see a lot of people with the drop week at Detroit, as using that as their drop week. But guys, final thoughts here, Antonio, with you, and then Ryan, and then before we go, we got to make 500 predictions.
Right. So, first off, you might hear my voice a little different. We lost power, so I changed to my phone. So yeah, power line broke or something, but I need to check that out in a minute. I think it was a great race for, like Field Cross just mentioned. It's basically a glorified session.
Yeah.
But we saw great racing throughout. Teams fine-tuning their setups and finding out what works, what doesn't work. And I think we're gearing up to see some wonderful racing for next week's Indy 500. And I think a lot of it is going to depend on the weather. That it's going to be dynamic weather. It's going to be static for the qualification runs, but then it's going to be dynamic for race day. So it's going to be interesting to see how these setups perform in different weathers, in different conditions. Maybe some are finely tuned for a little colder temperatures. Some are going to work better in hot temperatures. But it's going to be a blast, and we saw the best of the best racing it out, duking it out, and yeah, I'm very happy to have seen this race unfold, and getting ready to as well. I mean, I still have to put some additional work on my setup because I just saw some of the times that these guys were pulling. It's like, oh man, we're still a little bit far from that. Yeah. But we'll get there. We'll get there. And as for my prediction, I think it's going to be Will Power. He's going to get his second one.
I'd be all right with that. Ryan.
Yeah, that was a fantastic race today, and throughout the field as well, we had some incidents from time to time, but from the green flag running that we had, there was great racing throughout the field, and that battle in the closing stages between the Kraus, or basically the top three at the front in the closing stages was fantastic, and Kraus kept a cool head to take the win, and I think when it comes to the 500 next weekend, I think he'll be right up there when it comes to predictions, but predictions for the real life 500, that's a very tough question. But if I was to pick a winner, basically a winner, I think as much as I'm a Scott Dixon fan, I'm going to go outside the box and say Scott McLaughlin.
Fair enough. I am going to go with.
How about yours?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go with. I've already told you what I want to see happen. My dream is Newgarden wins. He gets out of the car, tears open his racing shirt, has an NWO t-shirt on, grabs the microphone and cuts a heel promo on everyone saying, "I beat you without cheating." But that's not going to happen. I want to see Scott Dixon for the sake of, and I love all of our picks. We've gone all to the 40-year-old crew. So I appreciate the support for the old men as an old man myself. So I want to go Scott Dixon. I want to see him get that second 500 win, and I want to see him get just one more win closer to AJ's record. I want to really see him break that. I don't think a lot of people appreciate the genius and legend that we're watching at the moment, and it's taken me a long time to really appreciate what Dixon has brought to the sport and the stats that he's put up, and I'd like to see him win that 500. So that's going to do it for us for today. Once again, your podium from Indianapolis is Phil Kraus, your winner. Liam O'Sullivan survives to P2, and Jesper Orman, who says he's not very happy with this finish, but I think he should be, because there's probably 24 other drivers out there that would gladly switch spots with him, with the exception of the guys in the top two. He finishes third, and I think he should be happy about it. And probably he is. He's giving us a hard time. So join Antonio, Ryan, and myself again next Friday, May 31st, for round 7 of the IndyCar iRacing Series, as the teams and drivers switch back to street racing, and they'll go to Belle Isle in Detroit. Coverage should begin approximately at 4 p.m. Eastern time again on YouTube. That's again 4:00 p.m. Eastern. As always, check our channel YouTube.com/RaceFirst for the official correct time in your area, or the iRacing schedule. That always works as well. We love bringing these races to you, but not easy and require time and money to produce. If you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our 2024 broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated. We thank you for watching and making us part of your Saturdays during NTT IndyCar race weeks. Each and every week they race. Now, as you know, the YouTube gathering game's not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below to let us know what you thought of today's race. And all those that participated in chat, thank you very much. We appreciate your interactions. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like of the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out more of other Race First iRacing programming, including Open Indy 500 next Friday, May 31st, 9 p.m. Eastern, Fixed Indy 500 next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. All right here on Race First. We've got 400 laps of action we're going to be bringing you in 2 days here from Indianapolis. So keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. Race First Saturday IndyCar Racing Series, iRacing Series, top split action brought to you by 4D Racewear. We didn't talk about them an awful lot, but we should. Check out their line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com. Without their support, we would not be bringing you this broadcast today. Track cams for this race are exclusively provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with the Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. The links are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com. Follow us on Twitter. And I don't have our Twitter handles on the screen now, but you can follow us at Race First and find all of our handles there as well. So, for El Patron, Antonio Estrada, Ryan Walker, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gonzo saying all, thanks for watching. And remember, our reason for the season, to all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Make sure to catch the real stars of cars of the NTT IndyCar Series, hopefully, weather permitting, this Sunday for the Indy 500. Follow all the action on the Peacock app if you're outside the Indianapolis area, your local NBC affiliate if you're outside the Indianapolis area, or on IndyCar Radio on Sirius XM channel 215 if you're inside the Indianapolis area. Be sure to check your local listings for the correct time and broadcast times available in your area. You can catch us again May 31st. When we bring you the next race at Detroit for the next race of the IndyCar iRacing Series. See ya.